Hi there everyone, welcome to the video on human capital development in the domain of child rights, a global perspective. In this video, we will talk about two key terminologies, that is human capital development and the domain of child rights. We will see how human capital development in the domain of child rights is in the global perspective. So let's begin. In this video, we shall see the overview, the glossary, these are the key terminologies associated with the topic. We will also see the UNICEF's perspective on human capital development. We shall also have some topics on human capital development and sustainable development goals. And we will also see the significant correlation that exists between human capital development and child rights. The overview of human capital development. Human capital development refers to the development of human resource or human capital that exists in a particular organization. Now, for instance, if a particular organization works in non-profit sector or even in profit sector, the development of human resources or the development of human capital that exists in that particular organization is of paramount importance. This concept has been recently gaining new significance and has becoming of more paramount importance in the domain of child rights as well. Now, the motive behind selecting this topic is because the domain of child rights has been seeing significant drastic change in terms of human resources and human resources functions ever since 2011. The recruitment, the other functions of like learning and development, compensation and benefits that pertain to HR have got intersected with the with the domain of child rights, and thus the human capital development as the key concept comes into picture. The human capital development in relation to the child rights is an interdisciplinary approach where we intersect the HR functions with the domain of child rights. Let's see the glossary. The glossary contains two key terminologies. First terminology is about human capital development, which simply refers to the development of human capital. A capital can be in any form. First, it could be in financial form. Second, it could also be in human form, which we refer to financial resources and human resources respectively. Thus, human capital development in simple term refers to the development of human capital or development of human resources. Now, second key terminology in the glossary is about the HR functions, namely talent acquisition or recruitment, learning and development, compensation and benefits, payroll, psychological concerns, etc. So, HR function is not just HR functions are not just confined towards the administrative HR, but also the organizational behavior and individualistic approach that is being used in HR since its inception. So there are a plethora of HR functions that we will be referring to in this video and how they are associated or resonating with the topic of child rights. So if we see the historical review of child rights, the domain of child rights has never got significance with respect to HR perspectives. If we talk about the human resources and human resources functions, they have never got intersected very closely with the domain of child rights, because of which a variety of NGOs and variety of profit sector organizations which have any association with any particular NPO or NGO or even intergovernmental organization, they have seen a severe lack in terms of expertise, in terms of their functionality, and in terms of operations, which do not make them achieve their goal and objectives. Now, UNICEF has a key role to play here, because it is the UNICEF which has included the terminology or the concept of human capital development in one of its own internal think tanks' policies. So there are seven policies concepts of UNICEF, of one of its internal think tanks, and this concept of human capital development has been accommodated there as one of the policies. Now, how human capital development is closely related to sustainable development goals. Human capital development is associated with 17 SDGs, while for any organization, it becomes instrumental to develop its human resource for attainment of their goals. Hence, if a particular organization is aiming or planning to achieve a particular sustainable development goal or goals, development of human resources is incumbent. Human capital development and child rights. Only 12% of child rights associations or NGOs have implemented HCD as a practice. Now, human capital development has become practice which has grown up as a significant function into HR domain, and only 12% of NGOs have implemented or brought this practice into operations. The incoming talent acquisition is just 25% of students studying social services as their professional career in child rights. There is more practice of HCD in IGOs, that is intergovernmental organizations, at international level. However, the same lacks in the NGO as well. Human capital is yet not viewed as a solution. Human capital development is viewed more as a problem and as a cost center rather than an investment center. And of course, the last but not the least one which we have is lack of awareness or education towards human capital development and intersecting it with child rights. The HR function, if you see, there are a variety of HR functions, namely recruitment, learning and development, compensation and benefits, and organizational development, which we also refer to as OD. So all these functions are associated with human capital development and can encompass variety of other functions of HR when we associate them to the domain of child rights. Now, the basic problem of child rights is that the domain of child rights has never got any amount of significance with respect to HR, because of which the NGOs performing in the domain of child rights have never been able to achieve a significant amount of change that they look forward to in terms of quantity as well as in terms of quality. Development of human resource, higher recruitment and involvement, social awareness and participation, fundraising, betterment or well being. All these are correlations between human capital development and child rights.